Hey you guys, it's me Kianna coming at you today, and I'm doing a video on something that has been going on, and you guys have heard the headlines about it so much. So I wanted to chime in on it and tell you guys my opinion, as much as possible, basically. And it's about the Paula Deen incident. And you guys know she used the N-word, and she admitted as for what she said. Of course, I used that word in the past. Yeah. So she said that on the stand. Of course, she was under oath at the time. So it was totally 100% true, and she was being honest. And, one of the things that she said on the Today Show is that she can't stand a liar and a thief. And evidently, she still can't stand niggers either. But anyway, I just wanted to chime in on some of what she said and what was said and how people are reacting to it and all of that kind of stuff. So, this is the thing. You guys know that many have dropped her as far as like Smithfield. You guys know that she's like the picture on the pork tenderloin. I don't know if I would want my name or my face on a piece of pork, but you guys know that she's has a brand with Smithfield and they've dropped her. So I guess all the Smithfield pork is going to be on clearance. I don't know. Um, because if they dropped her, what are you going to do about the packages of pork that you already had? So I'm gonna check it out because maybe I can get some sales or something. Put a couple of pork tenderloins in my deep freeze. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, they dropped her. QVC is straddling the fence. I guess they're trying to see how people are going to react to others being, dropping her to see if they're going to drop her too, to see how, the public is viewing her. So they're straddling the fence. So by the time I actually air this video that you guys are watching now, QVC probably will already have dropped her. Um, who else dropped her thus far? Walmart has dropped her. Target has dropped her. Um, Home Depot has dropped her. Yeah, it's a couple of places that has dropped her thus far. And she got on the Today Show and she, was crying. Mascara still in place. Lashes still in place. Uh, Foundation still in place. But she was crying to Matt Lauer. And he's still drilling her. Stone face, just drilling her. He was lethal. I mean, he really could be in an interrogation room and like crack like the best serial killer. But I think Matt Lauer he did miss his calling. But anyway, yeah. But with all the funny stuff aside and all the jokes aside, the reality is Paula Deen comes from a different era, you guys. She comes from a different era. Now, she doesn't come from the era where that's totally acceptable. Okay, so that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that she's an old Southern gal. And whether we want to admit it or not, whether people in the comment section are going to admit it or be offended or whatever, it really doesn't change the fact that a lot of people from her time era and from the era that she was born and raised and bred in, that word amongst family in private has been used once, twice, 200, 2,000 times. The reality is that is our reality. Now, some do have common courtesy, enough respect for their fellow man to not say it necessarily out loud in public, but it is said in private many, many times, especially again in her age group and from where she was raised and being an old Southern gal. Am I saying that that is okay? No, I'm not. Am I saying that we should accept it and be like, we're still going to support her and buy all her products? And am I saying that? Not necessarily. I think it's to each his own. Me being a Paula Deen, somewhat a Paula Deen fan, because I love, you guys have seen me review her pots and pans, and uh, amongst Rachel Ray and things like that. But Paula Deen was one of the ones that I really wanted to get her pot and pan set. I really was that was like something I was like, if you're gonna give me something for Christmas, Daddy, get me Paula Deen set. That was something that I wanted to have, and I was and am a fan of her brand and her products. Um, will I continue to be a fan? I know that's the next question that many of you probably want to know. I don't know. Just like QVC, I'm straddling the fence and weighing my options. Um, I'm allowing myself to digest it, and I'm allowing myself to get the full picture and see her reaction and her answers from her words, not from us doing commentaries, not from us giving our opinions and watering down the facts. I'm just letting myself digest what she did, what she admitted to doing, the reasoning behind what she said that she did, and coming up with my own composite or my own conclusion on what I will do as far as being a consumer of her brand from this day forward. Um, do I think that she was wrong? Yes. Do I think that when you are in the public's eye, you have to be more careful? Yes, I do. Do I think that when you're in the public's eye, people hold you to a higher standard? Yes, they do. Whether you want it to be that way or not, it's the truth. There's always a cost for the amount of money that you're making. Does that mean that you need to silence yourself sometimes? Yep. Does that mean that the exchange is for you to mute yourself at times, given the fact that you're making millions? Yeah. Does it mean that you have to push your opinions aside sometimes if you want to make those millions and continue to make those millions? Yeah. It's definitely an exchange process that you're going to go through. And you should, because your brand, your name, your businesses, your companies are being consumed or being purchased by society, your peers. So, therefore, in a sense, you do have to appease them because they are the people that's making you rich. Now, does that mean that we don't have opinions? No. But should you voice them all the time? Should you be very careful about what you say out your mouth publicly? Yes. Why? Because it will affect your businesses. It will affect your companies. It will affect your brand. Now, if you were in a business like many comedians, some comedians, they try to hold them to a certain standard as well. But comedians make their money off of controversy, off of saying their opinion and adding a creative and fun twist to it. So oftentimes, even though we try to hold them to a certain standard or a higher standard, oftentimes they're able to get away with a little bit more than, say, a Paula Deen or a Martha Stewart, because they haven't made their brand, their name, their companies on controversy. They made their brand, their names built on their talent, their creative flair, their business savvy and sense. So therefore, consumers are going to, whatever you start, that's why you have to be, even at this level as being on YouTube, you have to be very careful about the foundation that you lay when you're branding yourself or a company or your name, because what you start, you're going to have to continue. Why do I say that? And do I say, does that mean that you can't elevate beyond that? No, I'm not saying that. But a lot of your audience that you start out with are going to become accustomed to certain things. When you try to grow out of that or elevate from that, a lot of your following will not come with you. Why? Because they are accustomed to seeing you one way, and they may not be okay with change and seeing you elevate to another level or to a higher level or to a better level. So you have to be very careful when you're dealing with branding, building, when you're dealing with uh, growing You have to be very careful when you have that mindset, when you're going into it with that mindset of building a business or a company. You have to be very careful because what you start out with, you have to somewhat try to continue. Example, Monique lost a lot of weight. Okay? You guys remember the old phrase that she said, skinny women are evil. We all laughed and chuckled about it, especially us fat girls. You know, we thought that was hilarious. Okay? Now, a lot of people are lashing out at her as if she can't improve her health for her little babies. That would be the best thing for her to do, is to get healthy and to become more healthy so that she can be around from her children. But a lot of people are lashing out. Why? Because she built her brand, she built her company, she somewhat entwined her name into being the fat, funny chick. So when she wanted to elevate beyond that, when she wanted to grow beyond that, a lot of her following are not going to go with her. Not because they're such bad people, but because she laid down the foundation of being one way. She's going to lose some superficial ones, yes. Ones that are not looking at the bigger picture, yes. But she is going to lose some because she is not the same as she was before when she first started out branding herself, if you're following what I'm saying. So therefore, and I'm going to do a video on the Monique issue, so make sure you stay tuned to that. I'm pretty sure to say it in the title, so make sure you'll stay tuned to that because I have a lot to say about that, and we're going to get really deep into that. And you're going to be able to hear my opinion on that. But like I said, I'm doing what QVC is doing. I'm straddling the fence. Um, I think that she did what a lot of people do. The only difference is that a lot of people don't admit it, and she did. Should she get a kudos for that? No, not necessarily. But when I sit back and think of errors and mistakes I've done, and if people would have wrote me off and deemed me as undesirable or not worthy anymore or not marketable anymore because of the mistakes I've done, um, I think that I would have would have lost out on a lot in my lifetime. So I'm not siding with her. I'm not saying what she did is right. I'm not saying what she that the company shouldn't have dropped her. From a marketing standpoint, yes, they should have dropped her because they have to salvage their name and detach it from her because of this error. And I'm looking at it from a business angle. Being a businesswoman myself, I'm looking at it from a business angle, and I'm also looking at it from an African American standpoint of being a consumer who happens to be African American. And I'm also looking at it from a moral standpoint. So that's why it's hard for me to make a decision because I'm incorporating all of those angles into my decision of being a consumer any further. So, put your opinions below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you thumbs up for the video if you've gotten some insight on, uh, the branding process, and if it's giving you some insight on how I think and how I believe that the situation went down and how I think it should have been handled, and some ways that I think that she should have been more careful, not only from a moral standpoint, but also a marketing and branding standpoint as well. And she just should have tried to be more respectful, even though she's from a certain era and from a certain uh, area as far as being an old, down home country girl. I think that when she looks at what she's gaining and what she can lose, when she should have looked at it from the beginning, all along from that angle as well. And that's just besides the moral standpoint or the value standpoint. It just was a bad move. It was a totally bad move. And where this will lead her, we shall see. So make sure you put your opinions below, you guys. I thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you thumbs up. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe right up here. It's free, so don't worry. Talk to you guys later. Oh, and Daddy said make sure you thumbs up. I mean, thumbs up if you like the video, and make sure you thumbs down if you think I'm fabulous. Be blessed.